You are watching 2+U Nevada. So excited to have my buddy Chris Poulin back in from 911 Restoration to talk about the amazing work that you do. Now, Chris, I had no idea that aside from, obviously it's in your name, restoration, you also can completely construct a home as well. Let's go into the construction component of 911 Restoration.
Okay, well, the construction component, it's a lot longer of a process. So after you're done with your water damage, your house needs to we come in for the emergency service, and we got to, get your house done dry so it can go to a reconstruction. The problem is some people say, well, why can't I just hire the construction guy? But a lot of times the construction people, they're booked out for 3 to 4 months. So an emergency service comes in like us, we're gonna get it dry, make sure your house can sit while we go through and now work through all the processes with your insurance carrier in order to get all the approvals to start the construction process. And then we'll come back and put your house back together just like it was, better than it was before the water damage.
Well, and the other cool thing too, having gone through a massive event, let's say it's a wildfire, let's say it's a flood. There's this big massive event where your home is going to need to be rebuilt, or at least some portion of it rebuilt. You also store home belongings for these people, for your clients, when you're going in to fix their homes.
Absolutely. So that's a big part of it. We got to protect all your personal belongings. So we'll get all that out of your house, store it, clean it, put it to the side, keep anything that you may need for later. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes you're going to have to move out of your house. And so then we'll come in and then we'll start the process of the reconstruction after we store all your stuff, make sure it's all safe, because during the construction process and the demo process from the water damage or fire, for example, we got to get it out of the way in order for us to complete our work.
And water damage and fire too, that can go hand in hand, really and truly, because how do you beat a fire? With water. And so those do go hand in hand.
A lot of the times, a lot of the damage is from, unless it's a really big fire, but some of the smaller fires, a lot of the damage is from the physical damage is from that. And then sometimes it'll just be more of a smoke or an odor issue with a little bit of fire. And then other than that, sometimes the water will cause more damage than the actual fire, the small fire.
And then you take a look, okay, so let's use this fire as an example. You take a look at how firefighters fight fire. Sometimes they're axing a roof, and so ventilating holes, so you've got roof repair that you've got to do. If it's an electrical fire, you've got electrical work that's there, banging and open a wall, and all that kind of stuff. This is stuff that people aren't necessarily wrapping their head around during that actual traumatic event. But that's what's going to need to be fixed.
There's a lot of moving parts to it. There's the initial emergency service to get it, stabilized or to the spot where, it's the emergency service is done. Then there's the cleaning process on the fire and the contents, and then there's the putting everything back together. The construction portion of it usually takes the longest. I mean, it definitely takes the longest, a lot longer than the emergency service, and the whole process of getting approvals through the insurance carrier. We go back and forth, and that's the long, tedious part that usually takes the longest part. And then on average, I would say 2 to 3 months later, after your emergency service, all approvals, then construction can start. So it's a process. People, the first process is real quick with the emergency service, and then it's just everything kind of pauses, and we want to make sure to get everything approved with the insurance prior to moving forward. If it's not an insurance job and our availability, we can get started right away. We just don't want to make sure that we take care of the client and that they're not having to come out of pocket for anything that they weren't expecting to.
Well, and that's the cool thing too, Chris, is that because this is your job, because this is your daily life, you deal with these situations on the daily basis. So for somebody who it's your home, it's your belongings, it's your family, and it's your trauma, they aren't used to this, and you can hold their hand and walk them through the process. You can do the paperwork. You know the insurance lingo.
Yep. And we are not on any insurance programs, which is good because we work for the client versus being on an insurance program, because the customer can choose anybody they want. the difference between a preferred vendor the insurance uses is that you're kind of working for the insurance carrier versus the homeowner. So we specifically do not join any insurance network, so that way we could be an advocate for the client versus the insurance carrier. Because if it was the other way around and we told the insurance company, no, we don't think that's right, then they may kick us off that program. So they kind of, that's how they kind of, and they ask for a discounted rate from all of us, but we just want to make sure that the client's first and then the insurance carrier second.
And what's crazy about that too is you said, okay, so you as a family, you're going through this event, right? That then causes a restoration and the event happens. So let's say it's the fire, let's say it's the flood, but then you have to wait for permits or construct, you've got to go through all that paperwork and it takes months in between. What are you doing to help the client in those months in between?
Well, we're communicating with the insurance carrier and the homeowner, trying to make sure that everything gets approved, make sure the homeowner's on board with it. And sometimes they kind of drag their feet a lot just to kind of with the process. And we got to, as far as with the homeowner, if they need to come and get any more contents from their house or that we have stored, we'll make sure to get it to them and communicate with them along the way. We make sure to attach the homeowner to all emails with the insurance carrier, so that way they can really kind of see where we're at in this process.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. You always say, remember 911, you call us first. So really and truly, the question is do you call when the firefighters are still there on scene, or do you wait until the next day?
Well, we could, either way, because we want to come board up your house right away after, once the firefighters leave the scene and then they're done doing their job, we're going to come in, we're going to board up all your windows, secure your property so that way it can sit there and people won't have full access, because a lot of times there's going to be broken windows, your doors may be broken, a hole in your roof like you were saying. So we're going to come in and secure your property first. So give us a call first. And you can find us online. Just Google 911 restoration and we're going to pop right up.
Chris, thanks for joining us this afternoon. You're watching 2 Plus U Nevada.